Hey everyone, Jeff here, and welcome to another Elder Scrolls Legends Let's Play gameplay video. So, I wanted to do a deck tech, and I kind of wanted to go in blind and just pick cards that I liked and put them with each other. And I thought that that wouldn't make for a very good video because I would just really no idea what the cards did or whatever. So, as a precursor to this video, I went through my card collection and got familiar with the cards in the collection, and even poked around to see how possible it would be to put cards together in a constructed playable deck. And I'm not going to lie, I actually really struggled to do that. So, what I did was, I picked up two of the collections in the store. I had some Steam credit, and I do like supporting the makers of the game and everything anyway. So I picked up the starter collection and something else. I honestly can't remember what it was. Suffice to say, I actually now have a ton of packs from completing the story mode. I think it was like the regular starter set and something else. They were each $5, and I figured, you know, they each came with 5 or 10 packs, something like that. Plus, we have a ton of packs from completing the story and our amazing arena run, which, again, I highly recommend you watch. And we're going to just go through, open some packs, see if we don't get to a point where we have at least more cards to choose from. I mean, we're going to be opening 26 packs, and they each have, what, 6 cards or something? So we're probably going to get some duplicates. We'll most likely get some trash, but maybe we get some more constructed playable cards, and then we're going to try to go through and put a deck together. And as I go through these packs, if there's cards I don't recognize that I don't have in my collection, we're going to talk it out. So this will be a huge pack opening video. Everyone loves opening card packs. I also have this. What is that? I want to revisit again my commentary on how incredible I think the artwork is in this game. I'm not even an art person. I'm kind of a math guy. And I'm consistently impressed by this. Let's see what this thing is, because I think we owe it to ourselves. Lucian LeChance, Imperial, 1/5 for 4 with lethal. Other friendly creatures have Slay +2/+2. Wow, that seems really good. I mean, again, it's a unique, so you only get one of these in a deck, right? But if you have creatures out and they just start killing stuff and he's out, they kill stuff and they don't really take too big of a penalty because then they get +2/+2. I really like this. I think it's great. I don't know. We'll have to try to build a purple deck so that we can test that out. This would have to go sort of in a mid-range strategy, it seems, because this definitely is not a control card. And I think, honestly, it might even be too small for an aggro, like too slow for an aggro deck, because in aggro deck, you don't want to be attacking your opponent's creatures. You want to be attacking their life total. So let's open some packs. Glass Helm of Remedy, gain 4 life, Master Swordsmith, each item in your deck 1/1. So remember how I said in one of my other videos that I thought that we could break that one card that, we're getting cards here I don't recognize, and I think probably instead of taking the time to go through all 24 packs and analyze all the cards, we're going to open some packs like crazy. If anything jumps out at me that I'm just like, wow, that looks really great, or I'm super curious about it, another Piercing Javelin. We have about 1 million of those, but I think it's just a great card, so just having a playset of it is fantastic. Another Firebolt. What's this? Regina Highwayman, 2/2, Pilfer, draw a card. Wow. So if you connect, you just draw a card? That seems pretty good. I mean, for 3, see, that's what you have to think. You know, you don't get to play that until turn 2 at the earliest. We got a rare Child of Hercene, Werewolf, 6/7 for 6. Slay may attack again this turn. Oh, you know what? I bet this is the upgraded version of that other red card in that blue-red deck that we played. That it has to be, right? Because it has the same effect. So that's really cool. 6 for 6/7, and this, you could just clear out an entire lane of weenie creatures with one card if it goes unanswered. I'm not going to lie, what we're doing here is we're looking for a third lightning bolt. If we get a third lightning bolt, we'll be very happy. So what is this? Is this a foil version? Wow. We might just have to build a tribal orc deck to run this card. And then we got that annoying spider lair support. But the problem with this is our opponent started with it on the battlefield. If we put this in a deck, we wouldn't be able to play it till turn 7, and then it summons a random 1/1 spider. Like, by turn 7, that seems actually pretty terrible. And you take your whole turn to do that, just to turn around to get a free 1/1. So, annoying to play against when your AI opponent has it on turn 1. Oh my god, we're doing it. We are living the dream. We have a third lightning bolt. We have a whole playset now. We're building a deck with blue, obviously. Is this 6 for a 7/5? That does nothing. And this is Wild Beast Caller, 6 for a 3/4 summon a random animal. So there's a little bit of an RNG effect to this card, but I do like the fact that you play it and you just create 2 bodies. So if your opponent has spot removal, that you still are left with a body. Deal 1 damage to a creature if it survives, draw a card. There's 3 words there that I really like. We have another one of these Ward Crafters, which I actually think is pretty good. Another one of these Territorial Vipers, which I think is a great removal spell in green, because what I notice is that green doesn't have a lot of removal, so... Prophecy lethal. Wow, we have another foil orc card. That's 2 foil orc cards in the same pack opening video. But the problem with orcs is that it's probably just tribal aggro, and that's not what I want to be playing. Another orc. Summon, give a creature +1/+1. Combat math. Combat math tricks are good. I like that. This was a real superstar in our draft. Another Thieves Guild recruit. I don't hate anything about it. Siege Catapult. It's rare. For 2, you got a 5/5. What? Can't attack unless your side of its lane is full. So you put this in a token strategy and then just start slamming home for 5? Alright. Alright. Another Firebolt. This is a premium, a foil Ward Crafter. Very cool. This is kind of a boring one, but it does have this sort of aura coming out from its hand, which I like. I did not realize that there were foil versions of these cards, so that is totally awesome. A foil version of Mighty Ally. With the snow effect. Sure. I dig it. Lurking Mummy I'm familiar with. Rifted Pillager. Little Conditioner. Conditional, I mean. Ravenous Hunger. It's 4/1 Daedra for 2. Gains Drain if there's an enemy creature in this lane. Oh, we saw an opponent play this against us in the wrong lane. It was good times. This card is pretty bad, right? But again, the bad cards are there so that the good ones seem good. And there's another one. Curse. So it's a 0 cost, give a creature -1/-1. Of all the 0 cost cards I've seen in the game so far, it seems like Curse and that 1/1 with Charge are the 2 that are just really, really great. Like, this can kill this creature for 0, right? So that's pretty awesome. And there's a Goblin that can pull these from your deck, although I forget what it's called. Combat Math is a cool trick. This card, I think, seems better than it really is. 5/5 with Breakthrough. It's a common. You don't expect much from them. Another one of these. We're going to have 100 of those Imperial Legionnaires. But, of course, they probably, you know, the algorithm probably rolls worse cards more often than it rolls good cards. So, while I'm opening these packs... Oh, another Cliff Racer. That's excellent. That card seems really good. It gives green reach, and it kind of can also serve as a removal spell. I'm just gonna real cool and calmly just point out that we're living the dream. This pack is awesome. We had a 0-9 guard or something that did nothing. That's kind of funny. Another removal for blue, sure. Whoa, this is awesome. Some of these foil artworks are just great. I mean, Murkwater Witch, Goblin, Guard, Summon, give a creature -1/-1. So you can remove a weenie creature, guard up a lane. That, for 2? That seems good. I wonder if Tribal Goblins is a thing. It's gotta be, right? Yeah, see, like Murkwater, Butcher, Goblin. If this is in your hand during your first turn, reduce his cost to 1. That's good. 1 for a 3/2. Alright. Earthbone Spinner, another rare. I want to try to look at the rares so that I can at least learn what they're doing. 3/2, summon, silence another creature, then deal 1 damage to it. Oh, an opponent used this against us, and I commented that I thought it was very good. The silence effect at the right point in the game seems to be a very powerful effect. 4/2, summon, draw a card if an enemy room has been destroyed this game. Again, I could see this in an aggressive strategy for sure. That way you don't fizzle, right? You're just attacking, attacking, attacking. Play this, draw another card, keep hitting for 4. This pack seems a bit lackluster, although for the token lovers among us. We haven't opened any legendaries. I wonder if it's not possible to open a legendary in a pack if you just have to actually create them using the gem system. I'm sure that the odds of opening a legendary in a pack, if it was possible, would be slim anyway. But here's that terrible card I was talking about, Pleaded Kinnereth. Now what's this here? Young Mammoth, 4/4 with Breakthrough for 3. Yes, please. So this seems like just an excellent card on curve. Like, you play a 4/4 on 3 with an effect. Like, that dragon that I thought was really good was 4 for a 4/4 with Prophecy. Now, I get that you could potentially play that for free, and this one you can't, but the point is, just a 4/4 body seems really good. And that leads me to a conversation I think it's time that we had. There's a joke in Magic the Gathering about does it die to Bolt? Because Bolt is 1 red for deal 3 damage to target creature or player. And for those of you who play Magic, you know how good the card is, right? For those of you who haven't, a good way of measuring how good a creature is sometimes is whether or not it dies to a lightning bolt. And I think that in this game, a good measure of how good a card is whether or not it dies to lightning bolt. How ironic is that, right? So for instance, all these creatures die to lightning bolt. So if this was 4 for a 4/5 with guard, I think it would be so much better than a 4/4 just because you can't use a lightning bolt on this creature to remove it. And that may seem silly as a way to measure a card's value. It may seem really silly, especially to newcomers. Maybe somebody new is watching this video like, what are you talking about? Why? How can you measure a creature's value based on one other card in the game? But the reason is because that lightning bolt card, and again, I may be overvaluing it, but for what it does in this game, it seems really good. It has Prophecy, it does 4 damage, it gives blue reach, it can go face, it can go, it can remove a creature. Well, there it is. We've done it. We got a legendary. Descendant of Alkosh, Khajiit, 1 for a 1/1, Pilfer, +1/+1, and gains a random keyword. So this has to be, you know, like one of the ultimate turn 1 token plays, right? You just play this on turn 1, beef it up. It looks like a lot of these Khajiit utilize this Pilfer mechanic to kind of sneak in very craftily behind enemy lines. And that totally makes sense considering, you know, Khajiit lore. But yeah, back to what I was saying about the lightning bolt thing. is there's another one, right? If you can dodge a lightning bolt, and that's sort of the Wisdom of Ancients, prophecy, give each friendly creature a random keyword. So this is a rare, but it seems pretty bad because, you know, you need to have creatures out to use this, and if you get it as a prophecy and you don't have creatures, it's a dead prophecy. A creature being able to survive a lightning bolt, having 4 toughness versus 5 toughness, is actually a big deal. I think so. It's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. This is Orc Clan Captain, 2 for a 2/2, and other friendly creatures in this lane have +1/+0. Yeah, I can definitely see tokens are a thing. Probably red-white tokens might be a thing. Look at this. Give other friendly creatures. This gives creatures buffs. We have another legendary. Staff of Sparks is an item, +3/+0. When the wielder attacks, it deals 1 damage to all enemy creatures in this lane. Oh man, throw this on a lethal creature and just always be able to wipe the board. And Khajiit with Pilfer again. So yeah, so that's my rant about Lightning Bolt. I think it's something to keep in mind as you evaluate creatures. Again, just if they can dodge a bolt, if it survives a Lightning Bolt attack. A lot of creatures in this game do not. So I think that really goes to show if a creature can survive a Lightning Bolt attack, the potential that it may have. Like, this survives a Lightning Bolt attack, but you kind of don't care, right? Because it's a 1/5, so what does it matter? Ooh. Well, this foil is really neat. The purple sword. Summon a 0/4 North Point Herald with guard, so it comes out and protects itself, but a 4/2 body isn't great. Another Territorial Viper, a card I think I like. Cunning Ally seems like maybe, I think that this bonus of being able to get a Firebolt is so good that I almost would consider trying to build a, you know, predominantly blue action-based deck. Just because I think that that card is pretty good. This costs 1 less for each creature summoned this turn. Huh. Oh, a foil Swift Strike. Cool. And 1/3 with Drain. So I think that's it, right? We got all of our packs. So we opened a ton of packs. 80 new cards to filter through. We're going to go here and try to build a deck. Let's click through everything and just get these new labels off all this nonsense, shall we? Indeed, we shall. So, what are some of the things I look for when I build decks? Consistency. What do I mean by consistency? Well, I mean, if you're going to play a card, play 3 of it for the highest probability chance of being able to draw it. Like, I think, for instance, that, let's say I think that this card is really good, even though I think it's terrible. I only have 1 of them, so the odds of just drawing this 1 card out of my whole deck is really slim. But if I had 3 of that 1 card, I would have a much higher chance of being able to draw it. So one of the things that I got had apparently this card as a promo card, and then we saw one in blue as well. Let's go there real fast. Oops, got a little excited. Ash Servant. And again, this artwork is just awesome. I mean, I think this artwork is really cool as it is, and this one is just takes it to the next level. We have 5 lightning bolts. I don't even know if that's enough. Alright. Alright. I'm not in love with the legendaries that we got. I don't think that this is a card that will see a lot of play in decks that I run, just because it doesn't seem to fit the theme of what I enjoy playing, but we're definitely going to experiment. Oh, and we also got Hive Defender with a sort of a long coat and a goblet and a monocle. Well, he's looking quite, what's the word for, like, fine gentleman? Dapper. He's looking very dapper. Alright, we got 1,000,000 javelins. That's great news. Sure. Going through all this. This is another one of our things. So, look at how fantastic the hair is here. I mean, wow, look at that. I'm jealous. All right. Deshaun Sneak, Deshaun Avenger. What are the odds that this card upgrades to this card, making it a lot less bad for the cost, right? And you know what? I bet Wild Springin upgrades to Wild Beast Caller now that we skip through there and see that. Got some foils. This Young Mammoth seems pretty good. But again, we're trying to look for cards that we can put play sets of, if possible. And so we will skip to our colorless. We got this really cool Crushing Blow as well. This looks like this kind of looks like Hades in God of War 3 when you start to strip his armor off and then you start to like peel his skin away and all he has left is his Hades helm on and the rest of him is just bloody and gruesome. I mean, that's what I think of. So, all right. And I also got something which I discovered is here. For making an in-game purchase, I unlocked a card back, Elden Root. And we can make this the default card back. So sure, let's decorate our deck instead of using the core card back. Some of these I actually clicked through and they're really cool, like this Dark Brotherhood skull and the Flame Atronach. That is really neat. So we have a ton of bonus cards now that we can soul trap, and maybe now we'll be able to 165 I guess is pretty bad. Okay, so we have 165. So now we're going to build a deck, and this is going to be a deck tech video, and I'm going to take it to PvP play right after this just to see how it does. So let's build a new deck together. I'm going to walk you through how I build a deck, my considerations.
Add a favorite card from your collection to your deck.
Right, well everyone, I mean, come on. Let's start with the obvious. Let's go right to it. We don't even need to pass go. We don't need to collect $200.
Keep adding your favorite cards or select.
I mean, if I could have 50 lightning bolts, would I do it? Okay. So I mentioned in the very first video that I ever created for this video series that I'm really a control player at heart. And so I'd like to see if I can craft a control deck with what I have available. I don't know if I have enough cards available to make it viable. We're probably going to have to play some janky shit just to get it to work. But we have Lightning Bolt, and there's 2 other cards already in mind that I know would fit, or 3 that I know would fit great in a control shell. So we're gonna select them. And the first one is Firebolt. And the second one is Hive Defender. And shall we use the fancy foil version? I think so. And the third one is Piercing Javelin. So I think all of these cards are really great in a control shell because you want to keep your opponent's threats off the board, tempo them out, build value, And again, it's the namesake of the deck is control. So the more of it you have, the better you are. So we have 3 Firebolts for early cheap removal. We have Hive Defender, which I think is just possibly one of the best value 4-drops that we're going to be able to play in this spot to sort of hold off the early aggression. We have Lightning Bolt as either removal or reach, a finisher. And we have Piercing Javelin as direct spot removal. And while we're here, I also think we want to be adding this Manticora card, because although I didn't have the opportunity to play it, this is, in my opinion, most definitely a control card. So we'll add this. Now, as we continue building our deck, we want to consider our curve. So we already have 6 cards in the 4-drop spot. We have nothing in the 2 or 3-drop spot. So when I build a deck, I want to fill out the curve. And if you all watched my arena video, which of course you did because it was great, you'll see that one of the things I spoke about most was making sure that we had an appropriate curve in our deck, and just being able to curve out at each mana increase is a really important thing. Having a play is better than not having a play, right? And we want to be able to have a play. So just stacking our deck with a bunch of 4s and up, it does not give us an early play. So let's go back and revisit the options that we have in the 2-drop spot. And we're going to think about cards that are controlling in nature. This is not a card that is controlling in nature. This is a card that is aggressive in nature. This is a card that is controlling in nature, but we only have 2. These are all just value cards, right? Value, 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 value. But there's one I'm thinking of in particular, and the one I'm thinking of in particular is Wardcrafter, because the more I contemplated this card, the better I think it is, because you can either use it on itself, or you can use it to ward up a guard, or you can already have a creature out, summon this creature, give that creature a ward, and be able to take a favorable trade. So in the 2-drop spot, we're adding Wardcrafter. I really like it. I think it's a great pick. I don't know if it's right, but we're gonna include it. So something that control decks sometimes do have a problem with is life totals, because if your life total gets away from you, you may not be able to come back. And so I don't necessarily like cards like this, which are just direct life gain, which you talked about. But having a card like Bruma, and I especially saw the value of this card when we played the token match. Just having this out, getting 1, 2, 3 extra points of life off of this. Plus, it's pretty well statted for a 2-drop. You get 3/2 worth of stats for 2. So you can make an early play with it, and you can potentially get some life back from it. So we're definitely going to add Bruma Profiteers, I think. And again, notice how everything that we've added so far, we have 3 of, with the exception of Manticora, and it's possible that a control deck wants 3 of these, although in the 10-drop spot, maybe you do only want 2. I don't know how high the curve on these gets, so... and that's our 2-drop spot for now. We don't want this because we're not playing Dragon Synergy. This, I didn't have a chance to read it, but we only have 1. This, again, is kind of like an aggressive thing, and this is an aggressively statted card. I don't think we want any of these. Other considerations for the 2-drop spot, I think Shrieking Harpy, probably, of everything here, is the one you want. Why do I say that? Well, this is okay, but it really only stops 2 attackers, and it's not really aggressively statted. I think that this is probably a better arena card than it is a constructed card. And same thing here. You play this on turn 2, you definitely get a second card out of it, so it's a 2-for-1, but it's almost like taking your turn off. Now, if you do this early enough in the game, that's probably fine. Later in the game, I don't really know. Ice Spike is interesting. It's kind of a love-hate thing for me. I want to draw cards, but doing 2 damage is an aggressive move, and that's not really what the control deck wants to do. And Shimmering Peddler, although I do think this is really strong, definitely needs to go in an action-based shell. And if you look at our deck so far, we don't know if this is going to be the shell to support it. So Shrieking Harpy, on the other hand, is just straight up tempo value, right? You can either get it as a prophecy and stop your opponent's onslaught, or just play it from your hand and shackle something directly, right? I don't think there's any downside in playing this card. We may want to put 3 copies in. This might be something that we use some soul gems to make. But for now, we're going to go to the 3-drop spot and see what we have in that spot. So I talked about how good I think Cunning Ally is. If we were to put this in a deck that was predominantly blue, we probably could pull this off really, really great. We do have 9 blue cards out of 20, so that's not great. That said, we have 6 excellent options here for blue cards that would definitely go in a control shell. Both Camlorn Sentinel, Prophecy Guard, holding off your opponent's onslaught, and this, which could be a 2-for-1 removal. So we're going to add them both. In the 3-drop spot in yellow, we don't have a whole lot. This is removal, which I do like, but we only have 1 of them. This needs Dragon Synergy. This is an aggressive card. This is just terrible. This is Token Synergy. This is possibly a good card in a control deck because you want to draw more cards. You want to have more resources than your opponent. That said, again, we only have 1, so the odds of us just getting this 1 card don't seem great. So if I had more of these, it would be a consideration, but just kind of working off of what we have now, I'm going to pass on that pick. And that brings us to another card that I think is actually really, really, really great removal. And it's possible that we're going too heavy on that, but again, if all we're trying to do is control the board and then win with something big, I don't necessarily think you can have too much removal per se. And we have another fantastic piece of removal in Crushing Blow. We have 3 of them. They're promo Hades versions of the card, so we're going to add it. And now we want to look at the top end of our curve. What are we going to put in 5 and above, right? So let's start there. This we only have 1 of. This seems okay, but you kind of take your turn off to do it. After you play an action, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Again, this seems like it might be an alright card if you can combo it on the same turn. If you play this on turn 5 and then don't do anything, it's pretty bad, right? But if you play this on turn 8 or 9 or something, and then immediately start playing actions afterwards, and you can get 2 to 6 damage out on the same turn, then you've put a 4/4 body on board and you've done a bit of damage, and that seems like it's totally worth it. But for right now, I'm not in love with anything there. Okay, so all the cards here, the card that screams out to me like it would fit in this shell the best would be Snowhawk Detachment. It's a guard. It would get +1/+1 if I have another creature with guard. I am running 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other creatures with guard so far, so I know a little less than a third of my deck. So I'm going to add Snowhawk Detachment in the 5-drop spot. I think it's a strong pick. Again, of the cards that we have, I think it's, I think it's all right. So now we have 6. Fate's Witness, Prophecy, Summon, Draw a card. It's interesting because it kind of did save our ass in a story mode match, but otherwise speaking, I don't think it's that great. That being said, we need to add more blue cards to our deck so that Cunning Ally triggers more. So this could be something that is worth consideration. Both of these cards are cards that are worth consideration. Orb of Vermina we're definitely adding because it's basically a 3-for-1. Goldbrand we're adding because it's removal. It's 3-for-1 removal. This isn't what this deck wants to be doing. This is. So we have Shocking Wamasu, comes down, removes a creature, puts a body on board, definitely a control card, and this would just be considered a finisher in a control deck. So we're going to add that. Now our curve is getting a little high, so we want to look at the lower end and see if we can kind of balance out the lower end. And we definitely want to focus our last 12 cards to be as blue as possible to support having Cunning Ally in our deck. So let's look through here and just see what else we have that we can get pretty good value out of in a control shell. I like having more 2-drops. I think running 2 of this High Rock Summoner is reasonable, especially considering the cards we do have available to us. I think I'm going to try not to make any yet, just to experiment with a shell and see how I like it. This is something that seems like it wants to be a 3 of in all control decks. The Elusive Schemer, I'm not going to lie. So it's possible that we do just want to put some 1-ofs in here to fill out our deck, and yeah, I think we'll do that with our 10 last cards. Maybe just put some 1-ofs in here to fill out the deck and play around and see if I like playing them or if I don't. Let's put Shrieking Harpy in because I think it's good. We'll put this card in because it might be good. We'll put this card in because I definitely think it's good. I just don't know. 9, 9, 8. Our 6-drop is just weak. Maybe we do want one of these. And this is a super controlling card. What happens if okay, yeah, we'll just add it. So now we have 5 to go, and half of our deck is blue. I really want to give this more than a 50% chance of triggering, so despite some other cards being really great, maybe we do just want to add 3 of these, actually. Yeah, that seems excellent. And then 2 more. I think there's consideration for Tome of Alteration here. And possibly Ash Servant. Summon, deal 2 damage to a creature. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 ways to remove stuff. So let's just go with 2 tomes.
50 cards is the minimum deck size. Most players prefer this because fewer cards give the greatest chance of drawing your favorites.
Yep, and I already had a discussion about...
You can assign your own name to a deck and select done.
Alright, let's assign our own name. We will call this... Control? It's Mage? Alright, we'll call it... Oh my god, yellow and blue, or blue and yellow is the Mage class? Oh yeah, and then we can select Onkano? Wabbajack? I'm getting a little excited here. Viewers. Marak? Is there Marak? There must be Onkano and Marak, right? How do I find that? Where would they be? Let me see if I can search. Onkano. 8 for a 5/5 high elf, breakthrough, summon, deal 5 damage. Your actions have breakthrough. Yeah, that seems pretty good. See, the thing about blue decks like this is we don't really have any reach besides the lightning bolt, so this could just come out and help close out a game. it also could just, remove a creature threat, for instance, and it has breakthrough, so when you attack, you can attack through creatures, and your actions have breakthrough. So then, we were talking about lightning bolting a creature that only had 2 toughness or whatnot. If we lightning bolted a creature that had 2 toughness, 2 of that would get through to your opponent. You get spillover damage. Wow, awesome. And this is 11 for a 5/5. Wow, that payoff is terrible, right? Summon, steal an enemy creature. Oh my god. Whew. So imagine if your opponent plays something that they think is really great, like one of these, Manticoras or something, and they use their whole turn to do that. Your next turn, you just play this card and take that, and then for 11 you have a 5/5 plus a 6/6 with guard. So I guess the casting cost is reasonable, considering you could end up taking something that just has outrageous value, right? Tempting to make this right now, I'm not gonna lie, but I just want to play with what we have to get a feel for this class and see how I like it. And I think we will do something extremely bold and daring. And we will not play a casual game, we will play a ranked game. Because what do we have to lose, right? What does it matter? It's our first control mage. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever ranked game. We're doing it with control mage. Or we're doing it with my version of control mage based on the cards that we have. There's got to be a better way to build this deck. Obviously, we just saw 2 other legendaries that I think would be very clear inclusions, but this says, I'm not an alien. And that's exactly what an alien would say. So here we have a 2, a 3, and we will ship the 7 and see if we can get something else on curve. And we have another 3. Okay. So depending upon what our opponent does will impact what we do.
We are ready for anything.
Okay, sure. Deal 3 damage, so we have a piece of removal. I think we kind of don't... I don't want to say we don't care about that, really, but I don't think we care about that to the point that we want to use a ring charge to play this. Although maybe we do. To then contest it. Because we do want to keep... we want to control the board. And if we let the board get away from us, then we're not controlling the board. Our opponent is overwhelming us. So...
it's nothing personal.
Sure. And something to mention in the control game is that we don't really care what our opponent's life total is. And not that we don't care, just that it's not super important. Because we're going to try to run them out of resources and then win. So let's play this and see if it triggers. We stacked our deck with blue creatures. Or blue spells. It did not. So missing there is probably really huge for us. That being said, if our opponent plays a creature anywhere, we have something in either lane, plus we have 2 pieces of pretty good removal for early creatures.
If I fall, they hit.
And that's a perfect example. We don't want to attack this into that. We want to remove that. And then we want to do some damage.
I have you now.
Alright. And this is a problem because now our opponent has more resources than us, and we really don't want that. And they gain 3 life. So, this is what I'm talking about. See, that card was just kind of bad, right? Because I mentioned that I thought that this Thievery card was really bad because they just used it right now to do a 6-point life swing on a board state that doesn't matter. They basically just gave me more room to just attack them down, right? And the 3 points of life that they did to us is not a concern. So we will play Camlorn Sentinel here to guard against this Palace Prowler. Pilfer, gain 1 Magicka this turn, so that this enables him to ramp on the turn. Okay. And we will pass. Something that I think that needs to be said is that the audio is pulled right from Skyrim, which I can really appreciate, having played Skyrim for more hours than I'm going to admit. We're so far into triple-digit numbers there that, yeah. So this 2/4 guard has our opponent pretty deep in the tank, honestly.
Take your positions.
All right. Do they have a 0-cost spell? They do. Okay. I'm all for having patience in card games like this. I believe in taking time to craft a good turn for myself. That was a good draw. That was a good draw. So our opponent is offering the trade here, which we might take and then just use our last ring charge to play this tiger in this lane, because I have a feeling our opponent will have a hard time answering that. And again, we have used the life buff from this enough. Actually, the ordering there was all wrong. We will instead play the tiger first, and then we will make the trades, and we will pass our turn. Now we're even on resources with our opponent, but we have more life, and we have a board presence, plus we have 2 answers in our hand. And they... Okay, so here's what I'm talking about, how that healing potion kind of is not very good, because they just use 2 mana on their turn to gain 5 life that we're just about to turn around and take right back from them. So this is good, because we get to cycle a card, and we want to do that first, right? We want to draw first. So the question is, where do we want this? Do we want to put this on the guard creature to just really lock down that lane for life? It would be a 6/9. Or do we want to put it here to help this trade with stuff better and balance out our creatures? I think we want to put it here and balance out our creatures. Alright, and this is good if they flood a lane with something. We have an answer to that.
I have you now.
Alright. Now, a consideration is not playing Broom of Profiteer, because we still want to be higher on resources than our opponent, and we have such a board presence right now that it's probably not smart to play this out. So we're just going to wait. We're going to pass turn with 2 removal spells available, depending upon what our opponent plays. Alright, and that is... Yep, 5 more life, sure. Alright, so this is a perfect target for Piercing Javelin. It's probably one of the best creatures that they're running. It would easily be able to trade with our Cunning Ally, and we sort of don't want that, because the Cunning Ally is at this point a way for us to win the game, slowly but surely. So.
I have you now.
And we will use a Javelin here. Okay, so now it is worth considering playing out this card, because if we do, then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If we do, it would give us some flexibility on our next turn to have lethal. I still don't think it's the right play. We'll pass.
The forest is my strength and my courage.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
They make it too easy.
Okay. Alright, so our opponent definitely... Their prophecy game seems like it's quite strong. It's probably fortunate of us that we did not hit a prophecy, but now look, they are running out of resources, we have resources, and we've even given them extra cards, and we're still running them out of resources. So I don't think we let either one of these creatures survive. We will Crushing Blow this. We will control the board by taking that trade. And I think we do want to put this here, because now if they put a creature in this lane, we can attack into it. So at first I wasn't sure if this card was very good, because I said, oh, if you play this on turn 4, you take a whole turn off to do it, and then you're at a disadvantage. But we have control of the board, and now playing this while we have control of the board makes this card feel really, really good, because if they put anything here, we can just make a 5/5 with guard, and then they have 2 things that they have to answer. Alright, playing that out as a tempo play. Okay. So I think we attack first here, and then we consider what plays we have available to us. With 9, we would have to play Crushing Blow here to kill this. We go 5, 6, 7, 8. And then play a Tiger over here.
I have you now.
So now the question becomes, how important is this point of damage? Do I want to give my opponent another card this turn? This is something I hadn't considered yet until actually right this moment. Because if we play this, we have 9. So 9, and the most we can put him to would be 10. So we're still 1 off lethal anyway. So I think that we don't want to give my opponent the obvious alien the extra card.
Training is over.
Sure.
It's time to act.
So if my opponent has a creature to play, they're going to get an immediate buff. Alright, 5 health. So here's what I'm talking about, right? We had this conversation a couple times. My opponent gained 15 life, 5 health, and then 10 more health. My opponent has gained 15 health, but that hasn't really helped, right? Here, we will Firebolt this, take this trade, and now we have lethal well represented. So our opponent gained 15 health, and we are still in commanding control of the game. That said, we do have kind of a card that's pretty dead in our hand, so maybe this isn't great.
They cannot hope to outwit me.
When you gain health, deal that much damage to your opponent. Sure. So we have lethal any number of ways here. Is there a way for us to skip? There is not. So we will just attack and attack. And that's Control Mage. I don't think that we played it poorly. I think that our card selection, if I'm being totally honest, was a little bit stronger than our opponents. This comes from having experience playing other card games in the past. We just completed quests like crazy. We have a ton of gold.
Fall through the stars in month-long seasons that earn you rewards.
Cool. And now we could, in theory, just continue playing. You know what? I think we will actually play another game with our deck. Because that first game was a very good showing. I felt we had control of the game the entire time. And it just really goes to show that I think that sometimes if you have someone who does have experience with card games or whatever, they probably will have an advantage in this, obviously. In another video I discussed, players from other card games and whatever, and whether or not I thought they would enjoy this. But I'm having a great time playing it, and for people who are used to playing a different game besides this or whatever, but still, so we're matched up against someone who is ranked 9 now. So they were just like, whoa, you did so great in game 1 that we're going to match you against someone way better than you. I don't think we want any of these. I think we need to find a true drop and some early action. We didn't, but we actually do have a pretty strong hand. I mean, guard, guard, guard. If this is an aggressive deck, we have answers in our hands, so... The Mage, nice. And this is what, the Ritual Stone? Sure, sure. So I wonder if all the ranks are different stones in Skyrim. It looks like they might be. So I do like that there are a lot of callbacks to the actual game itself. So what does this do? It puts a steel dagger, and so now they have a steel dagger in their hand. Let's not forget that. We don't have a play, so unfortunately we have to pass the turn, but... we can start going guard into guard into guard into guard. Okay. I like that little 2-1. I think it's great, actually. Sure. So we have a choice to make here. Either take the chance on this, and we already have 4 cards in our hand that are not blue cards. And if we take 4 more damage, I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world. And we could potentially try to Cunning Ally. And then they have 2 daggers. I would propose the trade. Or we play it safe. I think we play it safe. Now the problem with this play is that my opponent has 2 daggers, so they could just equip 1 creature twice and swing in. But that would use both of the daggers, in combat tricks, and then we would be able to play Hive Defender. Okay. Alright. Sure. Mm-hmm. All of this is fine. It's not great. So we know 2 of the cards in their hand are just daggers. So I can do this. Now this play allows them to trade if they so choose. They could put both daggers on here, make it a 4/4, and and then trade favorably here. Okay.
Let's shed some light on the problem.
That triggering is huge for them. Okay. And they still have 2 daggers that we know of. So let's not ever forget that. We're going to try to trigger our own Cunning Ally.
Let's do this.
And we missed 2 times on this, despite having the majority of our deck blue spells.
My thanks.
You're welcome. What am I supposed to say to that?
I have you now.
Wow, what a play.
Stand fast.
Alright, so this shackle effect, as I suspected, is really quite good.
Let's do this.
Wow, 2 misses in a row? So it looks like you really...
My thanks.
You're welcome again. We can trade here. This will take a favorable here, but it will wipe the ward off. So again, RNG in games, right? You don't need skill, you just need luck. This is great for them. Yep, and we know they have another one.
You can't escape.
Yep.
I have you now.
Okay. Now our opponent is playing the control game very well. That's fine. We need to remove this, and then I think we also need to remove that. Like, we can go and remove 2 of their creatures. And we're still going to take 7, but then next turn we can try to catch up by putting big guards in their way. And we're extremely behind in this game, let the record show. Wow, another one of those?
I see you're in need of my wisdom.
Time to
Sure.
stand fast.
Sure. Alright. So here's where we can play a ward of our own and maybe get some value. We can put this here, because I think we have to, otherwise we just die. And then we can put this here and give that a ward. And so now we might be able to clean up this lane with this tiger and possibly get back in it. I don't see that happening, but I mean, it's a real pipe dream, but I think it might be possible.
Be on your guard.
Yep.
There is plenty for all.
Okay.
You can't escape.
Time to die.
Okay.
Stand fast.
Okay. This is a little late to the party, unfortunately. And they have 1 dagger left. That's all that they have. So we really need to put a guard in both lanes, otherwise I think we just lose.
Take your positions.
Okay. We're doing it like this because there's more damage in this lane that we want to prevent with this, and this will kill both of those creatures. But it looks
Nicely
like...
done.
Well, I'm trying. I'm also getting used to it, but I'm trying. See, this opponent is smart, attacking first, then making their play for turn. We know there's a dagger there somewhere, right? Oh, we're doing it. I don't know if we're doing it, actually. So we could play this monster, but I honestly don't think that's the play. I think we use Goldbrand to kill that. Or that. And then Wardcrafter over here to ward this up and trade. So I normally would take more time to talk out plays, but...
Careful there, friend.
We have the
I don't think I'm in a position where we can say thank you, right? And now if my opponent plays, oh, that's really good. Yeah, we don't have an answer to that at all. Alright. Whoa, what a prophecy. Okay, so we kill that. These both would have to trade into this. We know our opponent still has that dagger. Sure.
Your blood will spill.
So now we can use this to kill this.
We have the advantage.
My ordering there was awful, and it was embarrassing.
Careful there, friend.
And we may have stabilized and taken back control of the game, but I'm not confident about it. We're only at 9.
Careful there, friend.
Okay. Sure. Alright. That's that dagger we knew our opponent had this whole time. Do we want to draw first? Probably, right?
By the sisters of the sea.
Oh, that is why you draw first. Because I was going to play the tiger over here, but now instead I'm going to play Orb of Vermina. Cast out. Unsummon a creature. Alright.
Stand
We have the advantage.
Yeah. We're just taking these trades. And now our opponent is down to 1 card. We have 4. We're drawing 2 a turn. We have Goldbrand for removal, Manticora for removal, Lightning Bolt for removal, and now we're just way ahead. A Lightning Bolt. I couldn't be happier.
Give me strength.
Let's attack.
We have the advantage.
And then we'll play a tiger over here. Protect up this lane.
My thanks.
You got it. I mean, it's possible that they just have a bunch of lightning bolts and can kill us. Or that crushing blow card and can kill us. I mean, that's also possible. Our life total is so low. We really need to get one of those Bruma Profiteers so that we can start to get some life back and get back in this game.
The elements are mine to control.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Alright, that is it. That is living the dream. Let's go and draw another card. Pretty good draw.
Stendar, give me strength.
We'll play this over here to protect it behind the lion.
There's a plan. There's
And then we have to destroy this with Manticora. And I haven't seen this animation yet, so... Oh, it just kills it. Okay. And I am not going to give my opponent another card here. We're so ahead on cards. Our opponent would need 3 lightning bolts to win from current board state. 6, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And we have easily lethal next turn.
My friend would like to say hello.
This was a consideration that we almost put in our deck. The guard creature, sure. Okay. So we could just use this to get through this. And then we could go for lethal.
Well fought.
My thanks.
And finish it off with a lightning bolt. Sorry, I was doing some math there as we were attacking. There wasn't really a way to do that other than how we did, but, oh, we couldn't tell them good game. Alright, well. Sure. So, we played 2 games with our Control Mage deck. It did exactly what we wanted it to do. Is it a good build? I think it's okay. I mean, we're at rank 12, right? So, and I'm assuming this goes all the way up to 1. So we have 12 ranks to get through. Is it good? I don't think it's good. I think it's okay. Certain cards that we, certain unique legendaries that we even saw, like Marak and Ankano, would be absolutely huge in enhancing this deck. Just those, again, those unique legendaries. You only get 1 of them. And also, Odaving, he would be just killer in this deck. Just come out, wipe your enemy's board. If your enemy doesn't have an answer, then you just basically can swing back for 10. That could be just a game-winning card at that point. So I could easily think of a couple cards that would make this deck instantly better than what it is now, but I love being able to play a control game and a control style deck in this game. I knew it would be the first thing that I tried to do. We whiffed on the Firebolt trigger with 2 cards, and our opponent did not 2 times. So they had card advantage there, and we did not, and we still just sort of controlled the game, outpaced them, and won. So again, for anyone watching this who's a new player, it's sort of a deck tech and Control Mage tutorial and gameplay. For anyone watching this who's an experienced player and would like to provide feedback on the build or the gameplay, if there were any misplays or whatnot, I'm absolutely open to the critique, and I appreciate the feedback. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in this ranked play mode. If you see me, find me and let me know. All right, thank you again. Take care. Bye.